Good morning, friends. Okay, so it's Friday morning. I wanted to jump on here real quick and share some results of an article that I read this morning in one of the academies journal in dietetics and nutrition. So since I've graduated, I've now been able to be a part of these different academies, and they are indicated and specific just to dietitians and nutritionists. So it's great information, and I get super excited to be able to pass on this knowledge to you guys. So the study that they did in the article that I read this morning was plant-based meats versus animal-based meat products. And it really is kind of getting on that trend of, the Impossible Burger. And we see that all different fast food chains are trying to jump on this bandwagon. And if you're someone that's going to kind of jump down that rabbit hole and say, I'm just going to go to plant-based meats and this is going to be super convenient and this is going to be, I'm going to do something so great for myself, because of course they market it that this is the best alternative and, you're going to just feel so much better about yourself. And, these companies spend so much money marketing, more so than they do on actually the product and the ingredients that's going into these plant-based products. So the biomarkers that they did, they wanted to see what the inflammation aspects and what the inflammation results were between plant-based and animal-based. So probably the first thing you would think is like, oh my God, well, animal-based products have to cause so much more inflammation. The exact opposite. So these new plant-based meats, or these alternatives, things like the Impossible Burger, they are finding that they are not only causing more inflammation, but my husband's texting me. He's like, it's Friday, let's kill this weekend. Anyway, because we've had an awful week, just both so I'm sorry if I sound like a 1-900 phone call girl. But anyway, they found that these Impossible Burgers and these alternative vegetarian plant-based meats are causing way more inflammation, and they are now listed in the category of highly processed. So, that's the one thing that as dietitians, nutritionists, that we always stress is that processed foods are so bad for you. Your body cannot figure out what to do with it. So you end up finding the results of that inflammation coming out in that puffiness or water retention. Your gut health says so much. I am very open about talking about, what happens in the body and how much you're eliminating. And processed foods will either make it really bad or it'll really slow things down, and we don't want to slow things down. The toxicity that happens when we start to slow things down in the gut is awful. So then it just becomes this awful circle of like trying to get ahead of it, and it's really hard to get ahead of something that is processed, especially if, let's say, you ate something that was processed but you didn't think that it was processed, and then you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna have a sweet treat. Maybe I'll have a donut, or I'm gonna have a couple cookies, or I'm gonna have a piece of chocolate, and that's processed, and it's not 60% cocoa, and it's it's not something that you've made at home. Which again, anything that you could take all these different ingredients and put them into a bowl and mix it up, that's going to be much better for you than going to the store and buying something that's been sitting on a shelf or has any type of a shelf life. We want things that are going to age quickly. When they age quickly, sitting in your refrigerator, oh my goodness, my husband will not stop texting me. When you have things that age in your refrigerator, that's good. It's good that they're aging. It's good that they're going to go bad. We want them to go bad because that's telling us you have a very small window to eat this, or you're now wasting food. And we never ever want to waste food. But so the bottom line is, try to stay away from these Impossible Burgers. There are so many alternatives that you can make things at home. A black bean burger is absolutely one of the best ways to go from an animal-based product to a plant-based product. And I have great recipes for that if anyone's interested. And second is the juice. So I have decided that I'm going to start giving you guys an actual order form. And I'm going to have a nice little brochure. I've decided to name the company the Mason Jar. And right now there are 4 juices. I'm also working on making literally just my own kombucha. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically, think of the base of apple cider vinegar, that's SCOBY, and black tea, just a really heavy steeped tea. And you just kind of combine those two together. You can sweeten them. You could sweeten them with honey. And That is basically kombucha, and you can add that to anything. So it's a fermented drink. That's all that it is. So when I have my lemon drink, I always have kombucha with it. When I drink my blueberry, I always have ginkgo biloba with it. When I have my orange, I take my turmeric supplement with it. When I have my pineapple, I usually just take my multivitamin with it. So for each one that I make, I take something with it to enhance its benefit and the absorption of it. So some of you have asked, like, why is there salt in there? Salt is really great way for absorption into the body. If one of the ways to help hydrate yourself is to drink salt water. So think of it as like the electrolytes that people will drink when they are super dehydrated and they take like Gatorade. But Gatorade is loaded with sugar, and it's not like they're just putting honey in it. They're using, regular cane sugar, which is highly, highly inflammatory. So, and again, we always want to think about inflammation. Inflammation is one of the most complained. It's something that people complain the most about. I find that with clients that they complain the most about inflammation. People that do CrossFit, you don't really see a lot of cut and definition in them because they're moving such excessive heavy weight that their bodies are like swollen. It's like getting an injury. It's like punching yourself. And naturally, blood flows to the surface. It's going to swell to heal that spot. That's what happens when we do excessive weight over and over and over again. And we really don't give ourselves a chance to lengthen. We don't give ourselves a chance to rest. We don't give ourselves a chance to really absorb the nutrients that we're taking in. Those that do CrossFit need to eat a ton of protein to be able to maintain that muscle mass from all that super, super heavy weight. So you could tell I'm not a big proponent of CrossFit. But you're all doing cross training with me. So when you come in, you know that you're not doing the same workout all of the time. And I realize that we're kind of all doing the same thing, but our bodies all need the same type of workouts. So we need to train everything. It's not like you can come in and just say, hey, I just want to do shoulders. I really don't care about the rest of my body. It all runs together. But with that being said, moving forward with this year, and we're only into February, I really want to make sure that we're all having great communication with one another as far as, hey, Deb, I really want to do more of this. I want to train everything, but I really want to have a little bit more target on, my belly or my butt, which is, the two most triggered areas on the body for women is our bellies and our butts. I have very few women that come to me and say, I really would like to have bigger biceps. But we really do need to train our biceps, and everybody's bodies are going to react differently. The shorter the muscle body, the more it's going to pop out. So if you have a really long arm, that's the space for your bicep. So it's got to hump out all the way around here. So it's going to be a bigger rainbow. But if you have a short arm and a short bicep, it only has a short little rainbow. So it's going to pop quicker, or it's going to pop out higher, because your muscle body is short. It's the same with your butt. If you have really, really long legs, it's a little bit harder for that butt to sort of bubble out. If you have short legs, it just doesn't have any place to go except out. And the same with short-waisted people. A short-waisted person, there's only so much room for it to go, so it's going to start to grow outwards instead of, it's going to go on a width. So we want to really be able to look in the mirror and look at our bodies and say, okay, this is what my body is, and I accept it, and I love it, and I'm going to embrace the parts of my body that really just respond well. And, maybe I will have to work a little bit harder on some other areas, but no comparison, zero judgment, but more than anything, no comparison. I can't stand when people compare themselves to somebody else. And years and years and years of having an eating disorder, and being triggered by things that I was told as a kid by my mom. And, she was always like, oh, you've got these super long legs and you're built like your brother and your father. And, you just got one long back. And, I have fantastic legs. I love my legs. I've got great arms, but I have a different version of myself that I want when I look in the mirror as opposed to someone else. I don't like all that cut. I like a softer body. Scarlett Johansson, Jessica Parker, I think is her name. She's a porn star that we just happened to talk about, my husband and I, and she's got this phenomenal, voluptuous body, but she's not like super cut. Look at Raquel Welch, who just died. This wasn't a woman that was like, I'm going to pump iron in the gym. She just naturally was just this gorgeous, beautiful female physique. I mean, it was just a body to be just like in awe of. Okay, so I'm 10 minutes in. I don't want to take up all of your time, but let's really keep our communication consistent. This is why I started the group messages. I want to make sure that the quality of the content is very, very beneficial, and the quality of your workouts, you are all getting exactly what you want. And that, I want to keep my quantity of clients small for very specific reasons. I want to make sure that I can give 100% to each and every one of you. And I can't thank you all enough for trusting me with your journeys. And I promise that we're only going to improve together. And, this is really a family-based community. No matter what age, no matter what body, no matter what religion, no matter what beliefs that you have, no matter what your goals are, we are such an accepting group of women. And again, there's no judgment, there is no competition. And this is what I have really pressed for, and I have worked for over 25 years in this industry. So, okay, that's it. I love you all so very much, and have a beautiful day. And today is my father's birthday, so happy heavenly birthday to my amazing, wonderful father, and without a doubt, a hero and a mentor to this day. So have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.